Here's a Jew, sweet, lovely Nancy, 10,000 times adieu. I'm a-going around the ocean, love, to seek for something new. Come change your ring with me, dear girl, come change your ring with me. For it might be a token of true love while I am on the sea.
So I was thinking about, what does it feel like when we sing these songs? Singing from the inside out. So being in that group, that point where we strike sound, which is what we call it, where he dings the tuning fork, we get a note, and we're about to embark. I was thinking about this earlier today, and it's kind of an odd process that happens for me, is that we start singing and I can still hear my sort of thoughts running as we're starting to sing. And then after a little while, a verse or two, we get into it, I've realised that I'm not following my thought process anymore, and my attention will flick between. Sometimes I'll be listening for what you're doing, and I like the only time I open my eyes is at the end of a verse sometimes, and I'll look down the line and just to get a sense again. It's like coming out of a dream briefly and then drop back into it again. And it's very odd. There's very
it's
little...
spell-like, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, it is.
When I am far upon the sea, you know not where I am. Kind letters I will write to you.
That thing that we know, that's what you're saying, that about volumes. When you start singing, you get the right volume, the right feel, because I suppose you're getting used to the environment and how the
acoustics, right?
The acoustics are working, and then how it's all bouncing off wherever it is. So in a church, it's very different to being in a back room of a pub, isn't it?
Yeah, church is I think for you as well, it's one of my favourites. Just the acoustic. They're no wonder that they were, I don't think it's any happenstance that they're acoustically incredible. People were going every Sunday to sing together in a slightly different way to we do, but much the same idea. And you need a room that really reverberates, and they are just, without fail, they are fantastic to sing in. No mics, no nothing. You get an incredible sense of the natural reverb in the room.
You actually get that as the singer as well, don't you?
Yeah,
I'm sure the audience get more than we do, but when you're actually singing it, you still get that lovely mix of sound, don't you? That lovely echoey sound. The one in Hastings that we do is gorgeous, isn't it? Right. Yeah.
Really, really,
really lovely. And St Margaret's, St Rottingdean, very nice.
Rising, see how it gathers round, while we poor souls on the ocean wide are a-fighting.
The way that we do is very specific to us, is that we attach the stories now, and we will talk about Honest John, our great granddad, in the same breath as we'll talk about Ruby and Georgia, who are our daughters, and we are able to kind of time travel forwards and backwards with those stories through time. And I hope, we never really talk about this much with the audience, but I hope that kind of shared time travel is something that they're able to pick up on as well. That it's, those stories are stories that we use and we chat about when we're not performing. They're just part of the fabric and part of the passing down the narrative of the family, the stories, the collection of stories we've got. But they're great when you're on stage as well, because they help link things together. And this is what we were talking about last time. They really help weave the backdrop, the context of stuff. They really do help kind of set the scene.
It really is. Even you talking about it makes me feel really lovely that we're up there with our family, and even if the audience wasn't there, and we do this, don't we? We get together and we do have a laugh up there. We take the mick a little bit as well, don't we? So there's a little bit of factual, sort of traditional sort of storytelling that feeds you then into the song, but there is a little bit of banter in there.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's what that sort of relaxed sort of those things come across to the audience, and then that for sure to them is like, right, these guys are a family, and they do know each other. They really do know each other really well, and they are taking the mickey out of each other. It's a very emotional thing for me, especially when we're singing or getting to the end of the gigs, and we do the Thousands or More gig, which is the song, which is one of the favourite songs, and it was one of Grabs' favourite songs. It's always, that always gets me, and I struggle most of the time to get through that track without shedding a bit of a little sneaky tear. It's very, very, very moving.
There is tinkers, tailors, and shoemakers lie a-snoring fast asleep, while we poor souls on the ocean wide are a-ploughing through the...
During the course of the evening, whether that be us singing on Christmas night at your mum's place or whether it's doing a gig, that thing of that whole process, it's not just the moment when you're singing, it's the whole thing around it. But what happens as we move through that, I definitely feel, this is the same. I hope this is the same for all families when they get together.
Yeah.
I get a real sense of, I start the day as me, and by the end of being together with you guys for a few hours, I don't lose the sense of me, but I get a very strong sense of we as well.
Yeah.
I get a huge sense of sort of enmeshed with you all, and that we are a bit like a collective. We are a sort of commune, and I think it's that harmonising together does that. I think you all do enmesh together and syncing together, and you all subtly change what you're doing to produce that thing. And I love it when there's no mics, there's no music, it's just our voices and the room, and it feels like a real connection between ourselves and to the space around us as well. And you really get to literally feel it, the vibrations of it. And I just think I always come away at the end of that thinking, well, I was saying this last week when we were talking as well, that it's not like it's a kind of sense of euphoria or anything. I just get a real sense of everything's all right.
But when the wars are all over, there'll be peace on every shore. We'll return to our wives and our families and the girls that...
Well, yeah, and you can better that. You can't better that feeling. You could try and take drugs and drink and do all that to try and get to that point, but I don't think you can. Another point is that yes, we get that feeling when we're singing together. If we're with an audience that then sing along with us, that is just
what that does for me. That extends outwards, then, doesn't it? That same meshing that we do between ourselves, we start to do. You can feel that spread out into the room, and it's extraordinary. And it's not better or worse, but it is very different doing that to watching bands playing when they're all mic'd and doing stuff.
Yeah.
You're still singing along, but you're not the individual. Our voice is only as loud as each other's and anyone else in the room. There's a level playing field. And so when people really open up and start singing back, there feels to me like it's a coming together of equals. It feels like we're all the same. It feels like that level of familyness we have is spreading out through the room. It really does.
I suppose that those songs are doing what they were supposed to do when the boys back in the day in the tap rooms used to get together and the whole room used to sing, and they used to all enjoy it. When I do open my eyes occasionally when I sing and look out, more often than not, especially at the folk nights where a lot of the people know our songs very well, they're doing the same thing. They're closing their eyes and they're getting bang into it. They're buzzing out on the experience, on that atmosphere that is created. I don't know. If you could bottle that, you could make big money, couldn't you? It's just unbelievable. And when that Thousands or More hits, that last verse, it's amazing. Takes your breath away.
Thousands or more.
Do you think that Prosser and Jim were foreman of the bailiffs, the sort of effectively site manager of the farms that they worked in, and Brass in particular was really keen that the men and the boys and the women used the songs while they were working as a way. And I think that he knew, well, he didn't know intellectually, he felt what that did in the tap room
would help.
And to give people a sense of coming together while you're working.
Definitely.
It actively encouraged that idea that when we'll work together and we can sing together, and whether it's someone doing a solo and people chipping in on the chorus, or whether you're all singing together, encouraging that idea of working in harmony and singing together. I think we know that he was very active in wanting to keep that alive and keep that going, because I think he knew that it's not just really nice, it's got a real utility to it. It's really it's a great healer, it's a great balm, it's a great connector of people as well. And I think when you're doing that, like we're saying when we're singing, all those grumbles and those things and the chattering of your monkey mind, all kind of one's monkey mind, they all kind of
disappear.
They disappear, and you're just there, you're yourself, you're present in what's going on. And I think whether you're working or whether you're we're doing a gig, or whether we're sitting after dinner and singing, I think it's a really powerful thing. And I hope that when we sing as a family, and when other than the audience join in, we're sharing some of that I don't know what the word is. I'm using the word feeling. It is something like that, though.
It's a magical thing, isn't it? It's another one of those things that we can't explain properly, because it's a spiritual buzz, isn't it, that you get? And the reason why those people in the audience close their eyes and relax and travel to wherever they're going to in their mind, that's what it does to you. You can do that. You can sit down, chill out, relax, forget about all the nonsense, and just really enjoy yourself. And that is exactly what they used to do, to help with the toil, the hard work that they went through, to help with that, the medicine to help them through that, to sit around, have a few beers, and have a sing up with each other. You cannot beat that.
And kept 5 servant maids to carry the milking pail. She also kept 5 labouring men to use the spade and flail. 'Twas Moll and Bet and Doll and Kit and Dolly to drag her tail. It was Tom and Dick and Joe and Jack.
We were talking last week about context. And that for me is important. You get the best version. I feel we get the best version for ourselves of what we do when we do it in the right context, in the right setting. And when you take it out of that, and we can do it, you can put it on a bigger stage and you can mic it up. It's never the same, because that's not the context in which we've imbibed them. We didn't learn them like that. We learned them by sitting and standing next to each other in rooms, very intimate rooms, and soaking the thing in through the pores of our skin, and then to try and replicate that in a bigger space, you get a version of it. You just get a very different version.
It just reminds me of the Imagine Village and how we were invited to, is it Britannia Studios up in London or something? And we went up there. We did not know what to do, really. And I think they were sort of taken aback. They were astonished that we didn't really know how to use a recording studio.
It's a bit like inviting a troop of monkeys into your let's tap the mics, bite the end of the mic. We were the main thing, and it was, what do you mean you want us to sing it again? We just sung it.
Can sing it again with a little bit more? Ooh, it's like,
we'll go away and have 2 or 3 pints.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do it again.
I think that's what happened, isn't it? That one, some of them, we had to have some beer to give them the energy they wanted.
No, but it's a kind of, it's trying to extract something out of us that's non-extractable. It happens in the way that it happens.
And in the morn so soon she did begin to go, to rouse her servants, maids and men.
What we'd love you to do, obviously, is watch the videos, subscribe, and comments as well. We really enjoy your comments that come through, and Benny's very, very good at replying. I'm not so good myself, but yeah, it's really lovely to get some sort of feedback. And I think we're on our 17th or 18th video now, Ben. I can't remember.
Something like that.
Yeah, keep on watching Deep Rooted, and we'll keep on making videos, and hopefully lockdown will be relaxed soon and we can get out and see each other again.
Yeah, cheers to that. Yeah, so please subscribe if you can. Hit the bell button for notifications as well. Talk to us via Facebook. Deep Rooted is on. Also, we've got a group on Facebook which Sean and I look at. Your feedback's really important because we're just trying to share what we're thinking. And so, any of you got anything to say, please do. And we'll see you on the next one.
'Twas on the morn of Valentine when birds began to praise. Dame Durden and her maids and men, they all together met. 'Twas Moll and Bet and Doll and